Why don't flat earthers go to the edge to prove their point? Didn't one of them actually go to the Antarctic recently and see 24 daylight and renounce his views lol? Flat earthers used to be people that were misguided or ill-informed. Now flat earthers strictly exist for attention to be unique. They have no interest in proving they are right, only interest in saying everything is wrong. Cause they'll fall off. They do not want their views changed. They cannot have their views changed. Any proof against their views will just result in a moving of goalposts. If you were to ask any basic atheist scientist how they react if an actual God appeared, and it was blatantly obvious that the entity is a God, they'd tell you that they'd be excited about this. And if the evidence were there, they would no longer be an atheist. Flat earthers don't follow this same logic. The reason flat earthers don't go to the edge to prove their point is largely because their theories aren't supported by practical, real-world geography or physics. According to their beliefs, the edge is often depicted as being heavily guarded or inaccessible, sometimes described as surrounded by ice walls or military patrols, which conveniently makes it impossible to verify. Additionally, many within the flat Earth community rely on a complex system of beliefs and explanations that dismiss standard evidence as part of a broader conspiracy. This circular logic reinforces their views and dismisses the need for such direct proof in their minds. In reality, the lack of verifiable explorations to any supposed edge highlights the baselessness of the flat Earth theory. The whole point of being a flat earther is that it makes intellectually inferior people feel like they've deduced some secret knowledge, which demonstrates that they have a superior intellect. This requires a healthy amount of self-delusion and regular behavior to maintain this self-delusion. 1. You can't reason people out of a position that they didn't reason themselves into. This is a common refrain in the atheist community when dealing with religious folk who by and large believe obvious and demonstrably false things. 2. It's about psychology, not reason. 3. Their position relies on their hypotheses not being meaningfully tested. 4. Their self-image is strongly connected to their delusion. They don't want to have it corrected, so they will not take any actions that could correct it. 5. If these people were actually intelligent and methodical, the whole purpose of their delusion would not exist. They wouldn't need to prove themselves smart, because they would actually be smart. Are you crazy? With all the dragons about? You do know where they think the edge is, right? Antarctica isn't exactly hospitable to travelers, and they believe that there is an ice wall keeping them from getting to the true edge. Also, it's worth noting how unimportant the Earth being flat actually is to the flat Earth conspiracy. In reality, it's more about not trusting elites, which usually are educated people, politicians, or just the Jews, but using different words. The Earth being flat is just another lie the elites are telling you because it benefits them somehow. The shape of the Earth is the least important part of flat Earth, honestly. The main draw is the conspiracism and the compatibility with other beliefs like fundamentalist Christianity. Scientific experiments proving the Earth's shape are completely missing the mark if you're doing them to convince flat earthers that they are wrong. Think about it this way. There have been numerous experiments that have been conducted by flat earthers to prove the Earth is flat. Every one has either been inconclusive or proved a round Earth. Almost no flat earther has been convinced out of the belief system by the experiments. There's always some explanation for why that experiment doesn't count or a confounding variable messed up the data. Because flat earthers weren't convinced by empirical arguments in the first place, empirical evidence doesn't work on them. So going to the edge is pointless. They already know the Earth is flat for other reasons. Why go through the trouble and expense of proving what you already know? And more importantly, why risk being tricked by your lying eyes? It's on the internet, no need. In fact, the Death Star was flat also. Don't believe me? Google, flat Death Star, some wild shit out there. Time for one of my favorite rebukes. If the Earth were really flat, we would know by now because someone would have died taking a selfie hanging off of the edge. Some Redditors 5yo had said to their flat earther neighbor, "You don't believe it's flat. If you believe that, you'd go running to see the edge." That kid got it right. It's pretty obvious by now that flat earthers are in it only for the money. They are very easy to debunk, and doing so removes their revenue streams, so why would they do that? A flat earther is one of two things, either a shill or incredibly gullible, depending on whether they create or consume the content. I've met some of those people. They are already on the edge. Trust me. One guy recently went to Antarctica to verify if the sun never set during summer. He verified it, but it didn't change his view about flat Earth. Incels don't leave the house. It's really simple. Pilots and boat captains are part of the big Earth conspiracy, and they want to take you there. They don't want you to know the Earth is flat. Imagine how much money they would lose if they had to get you across the planet in half the time. I don't care if someone is a true flat earther. It has no effect on my life. It's like when someone smokes tobacco, and they still believe they are never going to get lung cancer at 55. It's just none of my business to fix other people. That being said, in my mind, the best counter is the lunar eclipse. A solar eclipse is when the moon is between the Earth and Sun, casting a shadow onto the Earth. With a lunar eclipse, the Earth's shadow passes across the face of the moon. Since the Earth rotates, this lunar eclipse shadow can occur at any random Earth time. The shadow is always round. If the Earth was a flat round disk, sometimes the shadow would be oval or a straight line.